So basically I just bought a load of spring flowers at the florist in town the other day, and I just wanted to create something quite dramatic, quite big, but basket based because Easter's coming up, so I thought it would be quite sort of thematic. And I always use a lot of twigs to get the kind of foundation going, so instead of, I actually have used a couple of flower frogs, but you really don't have to if you've got a twig structure, so you can sort of get all the twigs in place and then work the flowers around it, which is what I've done. So I'm continuing in that process, and I've got most of the real flowers in now. And now what I'm going to do is add some faux flowers. And the reason that I do that is basically at this time of year, flowers are super expensive at any time of year, but at this time of year, you know, there aren't that many interesting things around, so it bulks it up really nicely without spending any more money. And once you've kind of established that idea of having real flowers, the eye doesn't really pick up the faux flowers, so I feel like it just works a lot better. Like it? Is it a good one?
Yeah. What are these?
Those are hyacinths.
I like these.
You've got all sorts.
Why are they pretend flowers?
Because I'm mixing pretend flowers with real flowers, because you can't see huge amounts of difference, can you? Should we take these in?
What? Oh, yeah. done. Peas on it. Pew.
Charles Dowding's no-dig method is a gardening technique that emphasises minimal soil disturbance to promote healthy soil and plant growth. This approach is based on the idea that soil ecosystems thrive when left undisturbed, allowing beneficial organisms and earthworms to flourish. This basically involves laying organic material, and I've got a big roll of cardboard and I'm laying it across all my beds and making sure that the weeds are all covered. Then I'm adding a good layer of horse manure, which is well rotten, and then I realised that this dress shouldn't be the dress that I should be doing this in, and I changed. After I finished all this, I'll add a very, 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 very thin layer of compost or topsoil on top, but you can plant straight into this. So basically the plants that you're growing, you can plant straight into it with a bulb, you can plant straight into it with seeds. Whatever you're growing, the plant will grow through the cardboard. Instead of tilling, which can be time consuming, you apply layers of organic matter such as compost and mulch directly onto the soil surface. This improves soil fertility and structure over time. By avoiding digging, the natural soil structure is preserved, which helps retain moisture, prevent compaction, and enhance biodiversity in the soil. The no-dig method can help suppress weeds, as covering the soil with organic matter reduces their growth, and plants have an easier access to nutrients and water, leading to healthier and more productive crops. Although I do get myself in a bit of a pickle every year, I do have to restart the no-dig method probably every single year, but Dowding's no-dig method promotes a sustainable and efficient way of gardening that aligns with the natural process, and I love it.
We begin another season. Welcome to the set of Bridgerton Season 4.
We are thrilled to have you here in London, as well as fans joining us from all over the world via the live stream. Today we will reveal more behind-the-scenes stories from the making of the show and some insight on the upcoming Season 4. As you've all figured out, we are still filming, but we can't wait to share what we're most excited about so far. To start us off, please enjoy this performance from London's Candlelight, the best of Bridgerton on Strings Quartet. Thank you.
To embark upon tales of romance and intrigue. We are delighted to unveil today's exclusive glimpse into the next tantalizing chapter of Bridgerton.
And series showrunner Jess Brownell.
Analyzing these characters. What spectrum do they sit on? And if they sit on a spectrum, it's that Benedict is someone who lives completely in a fantasy world to a fault, and that Sophie is someone who lives in this very hard reality, and that's not her fault, but I think she doesn't always let herself dream of more.
I know, it's a lot. Yeah.
I mean, let's talk about Alison Gartshore, our production designer.
Yeah.
Let's talk about Joan Glazer, our costume head, and let's talk about Nick Collins,
Yes.
who's fabulously stepped into hair and makeup this season 3 of them just worked their tushes off. You know, we had a real vision for the Masquerade Ball. If you guys aren't familiar, you know, this is something that occurred in the Regency period, and the goal was to wear either by costume or concealment to try to hide your identity. So some people would go in proper costume, some people would just try to alter their appearance or wear a mask enough that they could hide their identity, and because of that, people usually would get up to things that they might not normally get up to. The rules were a little bit looser, it was a little bit more frisky. So I think taking that inspiration into the visuals, you know, we wanted the ball to feel a little more dark and mysterious and fairy tale-like, and we really honed in on the idea of it looking a bit like a Midsummer Night's Dream, and from that came a lot of the inspiration for all. Can I say my cottage? Do we know this? It's not a cottage, spoiler alert, it's a mansion.
I think we've got a picture of the cottage.
Got a picture of
There it is.
the
Lovely.
cottage.
That's not a cottage.
I know. This was one of those locations that when our locations team showed us this, I was like, this is exactly how I pictured my cottage. It's amazing. I mean, the whole joke is that it's not at all a cottage. And you know, maybe within striking distance of that cottage, there's a lake. It's entirely possible that Benedict might want to go for a swim. So.
On its own terms, it's like it's just flawless. It's perfect. It's just absolutely that. It sort of can't really be compared to anything else. I think that's really special. It makes it very unique. Yeah.
And your short time with us, yeah. What do you love about Bridgerton?
Just how much joy it gives people. You know, I think when you see stories about people getting together through all the obstacles and challenges, you just root for them, and I just love how much people love the show, and also the people on the show. You know, I love, Bridgerton.
You know, I get these incredible playlists from our music supervisor and start digging in on them, and our editors make some choices that may stay. But I'll tell you an angle that I'm interested in, which is that I think of Benedict as kind of being like our rock and roll character. And so I think it would be really cool to do at least 1 or 2 throwbacks to like some classic rock, like do like a Rolling Stones cover or something like that. And you know, there's always gonna be some very modern bangers. Like there's always probably gonna be a Taylor Swift cover. But yeah, still TBD.
And thanks also for coming and sharing all the stuff with you. It's really nice to share, you know, how fun it is to do Bridgerton together, and also to share season 4 with you. There is a lot more to come, but in the meantime, oh no, there's also the candlelight, and what they call candlelight dancing. What's that called?
Candlelight.
And
dancing.
There's another performance by the quartet, right?
Yeah.
Candlelight dancing, that's right, yes.
Yes, so basically.
That went well.
Yeah. We just want to kick off this dinner portion with a toast, which you can take this, so if you'd like to raise your glasses, which you can take home, by the way. It's a little token from us to you. And basically, we just want to say thank you so much to you guys, the fans, for making the ton what it is today. And thank you, over there as well. Thank you. For treasuring the Bridgerton world as much as we do, and for continuing to bring joy all around the globe. So cheers to you guys.
Cheers. Cheers to you. Enjoy.
events I went to just before we went away, it was another one of those complete like pinch me moments where I was like, how am I here? It was amazing, absolutely amazing. I took my friend Hayley, which was really fun to go with a friend. Not that I don't usually go with a friend, but a non-Instagram friend. And we were laughing, actually. I was laughing with Genevieve, Mrs. Trufflepig, because I want to go to all these events like fully dolled up. And, you know, generally I do, but like not as much maybe as I would do, because it's all very well when you're there being like, you know, in this incredible ball gown, but you've actually got to get the train from the sticks. So I was dressed up, but not like as much perhaps as some other people there. But even then I got really funny looks. And sometimes I even cycle down. So I have to kind of like shove my dress or my skirt into like these stretchy leggings, and then put a hat on so my hair doesn't get ruined, and put a big bomber jacket on and cycle down. And then I've got my heels and have to swap them on the bike. And anyway, thankfully I didn't have to do that. My husband drove me to the train station. But yeah, it was the Bridgerton sort of sneak preview for fans for season 4, which is super exciting. I just love Bridgerton. I love it. And we had a Q&A with the cast, which was pretty cool. So Benedict, it's all about Benedict this season, which is exciting for him. And it was just such a sweet chap and a new character that he is going to be having a love interest with, if you've read the books. And Queen Charlotte kind of compared it all, which was really lovely as well. She just comes across as such a hoot. And yeah, we had a few spoilers, which I'm not allowed to tell you, sadly. But I can tell you that the costumes look even more incredible this year than last year. There's a ball at the beginning, which is very exciting. Always love a ball to start it all off. And I think it's going to be a lot more, a little bit sort of upstairs, downstairs-y this year. So we get a lot more of a look into what it might be to serve the Bridgertons. So also a nice angle, I think, for us to learn a little bit more about the other characters that are downstairs. And it was just, honestly, some of the people there were just so beautiful. They had these actors and actresses who were going around as if they were the Ton, and just chatting to you, saying, you know, where did you get your dress? And I must know the atelier, which it was brilliant. It was really immersive. And just even the other people there, you know, the PR people, the influencers, the journalists, they looked amazing. It was like, I would say it was like a really fancy wedding. There were just these beautiful flowers everywhere. And as I say, the Q&A with the cast was really exciting, and they live streamed it. So we were getting questions from all across the globe. And then we had this incredibly wonderful meal in a sort of square, and all the actors and actresses danced, and it was just wonderful. It was really, really magical. And then I hot-footed it back to the sticks in my ridiculous shoes and skirt, and was up at 2 a.m. for skiing the next day. So yeah, it was quite something. But I have to say, gosh, I am looking forward to season 4 of Bridgerton. I just, you know, any period drama I'm up for, but I think there's just, for me, I've tended to prefer the more traditional period dramas, so the ones that are perhaps you know, true to the time. But Bridgerton just has got me somehow. I think it's because it's so cheeky and so obviously not meant to be exactly of the time, and the fashion, God, the costumes are so great, that it makes me just you know, and the storylines are really good, you know, the suspense is really good, the love interests are really interesting. There's always like someone who's a baddie, you know, it's just got all the right concoction. So I do really, really love it. But yeah, as I say, like I will list all my favorite period dramas below, because I just love a period drama. I remember the first time I ever watched a period drama, and that was we used to have a caravan, and so we'd pack up and we'd go for a weekend to the caravan, and it was blazing hot sunshine, and Mummy had put on Gone with the Wind, and I started watching it with her, and I think I was 7, and everyone was playing cricket outside, and Mummy was like, go on then, off you go and play with them, and I was like, no, I need to know what happens. And during the intermission, she was like, look, I'll just record it and you can watch it later. And I was like, no, I need to watch it. And ever since then, I've just been completely in love. And I still, to this day, want 2 dresses in my life that are styled on that first green sort of paisley off-the-shoulder dress, and the second, the blue velvet one, where she's got all the sort of like sort of almost netty chiffony thing. Just, God, Vivian Leigh, just so incredibly gorgeous as well. It's interesting to think, you know, period dramas have had a massive resurgence. Like, I've personally always loved them, but, you know, your average person hasn't always loved them. So I think it's really interesting that this is happening, and even more, people are crying out for them all the time. And I think, I was thinking before chatting to you about this and why that is, and I think it's all connected again to this kind of feeling that I had, which is why I started all this in the first place, is that kind of reconnection. And so COVID made us feel, you know, perhaps there were loads of awful things about COVID, obviously, but it might have made us kind of reconnect. The escapism, the nostalgia, having the opportunity to just stop for a minute and not watch a really intense crime thriller, you know, just lose yourself in something for a while that feels good, that looks good, makes your heart glow. I think, you know, that has come for me, I think, more and more and more off the back of COVID, and that realization of, you know, what I love, what's important to me, and what makes me happy. I think Downton is probably one of the best examples of this, where you kind of get this, you know, you're drawn in by this bygone era of simplicity. You know, we've got all these devices, and obviously I'm talking on a device, so I'm not saying they're bad. I'm just saying, you know, it was a simpler time. Like, growing up in the 80s and 90s, it was a simpler time. You know, we were out at, you know, 9 a.m. and back when it got dark. So nostalgia, that feeling of romance, and that things might just be okay. You know, they tend to have a happy ending, and I feel like the world probably needs to feel like it needs a happy ending right now. So yeah, for me, period dramas, if I could only ever watch a period drama, I would be perfectly happy. I just love it. And to be fair, my husband is pretty good. He does let me watch all the period dramas. I'll have to ask him which one is his favourite. I think he quite liked Downton. And then I think he likes ones that have kind of like got a little edge to them, like Sherlock Holmes or The Wheel of Time, I think he likes as well. There's a new season of that coming out, actually, which I'm looking forward to. But yeah, love a period drama.